a lot of ISOs, a lot of agents are their source of sales is the community. Like they're community people, right? Like that's the whole concept of the agent model is Mr. Big Processor can't be the best friend with every single small business owner. It's just not what they're equipped for. They can't service these small businesses at the level they need, right? Like these small business owners are working it out. Like they're just barely making it all the times, and they need that hands-on experience. And I think when an agent does that, it's like the right thing to do is maybe use it as an opportunity to walk into. I mean, like my opinion is like, hey, walk into the store and say, "Did you know you're not compliant?" Rather than try to let me penalize you and get you in trouble. It's let me make you compliant, let me help you out, and I'm going to earn your business that way. And I think that's maybe a more valid answer. Like there's a right way to do it, right? And it's like there's nothing wrong with seeing stores. The end of the day is we're all in the payments business, but we're here to service the small businesses.
Welcome to the Payments Experts Podcast, a podcast of Global Legal Law Firm. We hope you enjoy this episode.
We actually never implemented cash discount. We said surcharge. Like we do true, proper above board surcharging, as in no debit cards. If you have a debit bin range, it'll deny. Even if you try to run it as credit. It's a key difference. Because think of the wording, cash discount. So if my method of payment is considered a form of cash, I have to give you that discount, right? Like, so if you go back to Dodd-Frank in 2008 Durbin, like you're charging that fee, you're not giving that discount to a debit card, which is considered legally cash. So now you're in violation. So that's the first, I think the biggest thing, especially in the C-store or convenience retail environments, because the debit rate's so high. Like you don't see much PIN debit at like a doctor office, right? Like you're not going to see as much PIN debit, right?
Yeah.
This debit cards don't really come in, right? Or law firms, right? You guys aren't. I mean, I don't think you guys get much debit cards here, right?
Yeah, once in a while, but not often.
Yeah, it's mostly credit, right? And it's like, so you don't really have to worry as much about the bin concept and like looking at the card, like, because again, you look at the cards, there's that little word, it says Visa and it says debit. Oh, by right now it's still debit right there, right? So it's like trying to read that concept. And so the point is cash discounting, you can't do debit. That's a huge fee source. Imagine 30-40% PIN debit or debit card ranges coming into a store. That means you can only talk about 50 to 60% as surchargeable versus debit card. So again, surcharging and cash discount are much more alike in nature than dual pricing is, because surcharge and cash discount both have that same no debit card rule, and they kind of stem from the same concept, right? Whereas cash discount, I mean, and I think that's where I'll say it back. Like I'm not sure if it's even 4% is the cap still for that or not. Like you can't do 4%. Is the cap still applicable to cash discount?
No, I haven't seen a cap applicable to cash discounting.
Like in theory, dual pricing also has no cap. In theory. Now, that's arguable because you start getting to state laws.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
State laws, and you start dealing with the local, again, local nomenclature and the local rules and regulations that you have to apply by beyond the card network.
And also, when it comes to state laws, there's the state laws that are talking about specifically surcharging, right? Or junk fees. They all label things differently. But then there's a whole other sector of state laws that I think a lot of people in our industry don't take into account, but it's important. And recently, a couple of clients have had us look into this. And that's every state has a Deceptive Trade Practices Act, right? And that is about like, are you being deceptive with your pricing to the consumer? That's a whole nother different ball game, and you have to also comply with that. We had a client come to us and say, hey, look, like one of my merchants doesn't want to display pricing on anything. Yeah. And we're like, what state is he in? And we looked into it, and in that state, it's like, absolutely not. You cannot do that.
Exactly. And so I think
there's like all these different levels of laws and card brand rules.
Because the card brand's okay with that, right? Yeah, the card brand's okay if you're not showing the pricing.
Yeah, but the states, it's not.
The states usually not, right? Because then there's like, again, like Florida, a lot of states say like, no, you have to label the price on the shelf, right?
Exactly.
Like that's a deceptive practice, right? What I'll say is, New York's always been the little hot testing ground for these things. Yeah. This just always has been. I mean, we were seeing in the market dual pricing issues come up back in 22. 22 fines were being assessed. 23, like it was the first market out there getting hit with this stuff. Yeah. and that's where the laws got created, right? And the state got involved. And what I'll say is this: you run into a lot of times this concept that, like, what we do, for example, is like we were originally kind of on, like, we were always listening, and so as a company we've always been watching and listening to, okay, where is dual pricing gonna go, right? Like, because we were always very interested and eager with dual pricing from day one. We watched it, but we wanted to do it right. We didn't. So day one, whereas others were doing the whole cash adjustment thing, we were doing the two price thing, right? We were doing it, and we were prorating it. So and again, here's a better question: what do you do about dual pricing on tax and tips?
Yeah, that's
and so that people don't never think of it that through. And there's so many levels to dual pricing that you have to get at. And we were thinking of all those things from the day one. And I think the important thing we even found was, beyond that, you start finding that the store a lot of times runs into, like, the shelving, because we were like, okay, well, displaying it at the point, the original wording was put stickers at the door,
point of sale,
sticker
entry,
at the point of sale and entry.
Yeah, now it's gone beyond that,
and show the price at the point of sale.
Yeah.
And originally this misconception in the industry is, well, if we show both prices with a customer facing display,
right,
our problems are solved.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to show that the shelf is labeled cash, but we are actually showing two prices at the point of sale. So it's not like it was completely, it would perhaps pass the state junk fee or junk concept, right? Because we weren't disclosing prior to purchase,
right?
Because what some people were doing is just like, because a lot back then, a lot of stores, a lot of ISOs were just like, oh, well, doesn't tell you nothing about it, and it's when you buy something that just charge you more.
Well, even now, I wouldn't say back then. They're still having. I spoke about this on our last podcast. I was out to dinner a few weeks ago in La Jolla. There's no signage anywhere about surcharging. When we got the bill, I can't remember if it was a 5 or 6% surcharge on top. I was like, no. And I spoke to the manager. I was like, I'm in this industry. Can you have that removed? Yeah. They removed it, but he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, man, it's a service fee, right? It's a service. Yeah. It's going to the house.
Yeah. I was like, nah, you got
for tips,
because it was an expensive restaurant, so another 5-6% really shot the price up. So I was like, you got to remove that.
Yeah, it's not, like, and that's a funny thing you start seeing, because there's so many, like, things restaurants are, because again, we're more retail.
Yeah.
We do a little bit QSR. We do QSR, and we work with ISOs and do these things, but, like, you look at, like, true, like, the Toasts of the world, right? Like, they have this concept of, like, tip allocation.
Right.
Like, what some people, and I've just, like, if it's on Toast website. Like, it's not even you can go on toast.com and find this, right? Like, they have this concept of tip management. Like, you can put a 15-20% tip or automatic service charge. Some POSs do that too. Like, they'll do the whole, like, we're gonna if you parties of 5 or more, 20% service charge. I'm sure we've seen that.
Yeah. And
they'll do is, how the tips are distributed at the restaurant, like 5% goes to the house, and then we'll do like 10% to the waiter, and then 5% to the cook.
Yeah.
And then what was that 5% for the house for? The fees.
Right.
Like, it's like, so, but then it's like, is that
cost of living adjustments? I've seen those. It's just as cost of living adjustments.
And is that Visa compliant, right? It's a service charge for the tip. It's a tip. I mean, it's like, when you start getting to labeling law, it's like, okay, we're labeling this as a tip, but it's not being addressed as a tip. And it's like, there's so much of the nuance regarding to, like, it's really, at the end of the day, like, I think everyone in the industry looks at it like, okay, how do we label it to fix it? And
well,
I'm like,
I think New York. So, we talk about this all the time internally. Me and Chris kind of run these ideas back and forth and kind of get each other's perspectives on what we think is going to happen going forward. Let me know what you think. We personally, I can speak for Chris on this, I think that New York is going to be setting the trend when it comes to their law, General Business Law Section 518, which discusses all this.
We have a whole video on it.
Yeah, we have a whole video on it, right? Is really clear, kind of lays out exactly what to do. They may be stricter than other states, but I think a lot of states are going to start following them, and I think they're kind of like the golden rule or golden standard. Like, this is how you should do it if you want to really be compliant.
Well, even New Jersey's a little more strict on some of those pieces than New York is.
Yeah,
and they've always piggybacked each other on that. And I think I've seen it firsthand with New York. Like, that was one of the first markets we ran into this compliance piece, and I'll say, like, New York has this concept of you must point it on the shelf.
Yep.
And that was the biggest thing, because to us,
and it doesn't get clearer than that, right? At least you know what to do.
Yeah, and I think that's what it goes back to. The industry has a problem with how do we band-aid just to make some money.
Yeah.
And I think at the same time there is a legitimate concern, which is store owners don't want to pay these fees.
Right.
And it's and both sides, like, there's a ration there, right? And I think, like, looking at with like eliminating fees for store owners or minimizing fees because they don't want to pay 3% or 2% or whatever. Maybe especially in low ticket, they're paying 3 even higher, right? On low tickets, like you pay a $10 average ticket, you're going to be over 3% interchange. And I think what's important is we have ESLs. Actually, it's a big part of what we've been pushing. So we've always been day one. We actually go out. Part of our procedure internally as a company is we make sure we actually send somebody out to resticker the store.
See, this is what you guys got to do if you're listening.
Like,
we do the effort you need to put in.
Yeah. We send a person out. We resticker, and C stores, mind you, aren't like restaurants where there's a menu.
Right.
It's like 100 items. We're talking 5,000 SKUs.
Yep.
And we literally print a whole book. We like all kinds of shelving. That's why shelving labels are a huge part of our POS. Like we have literally 4 ways to print a shelving label because it's important. Like being able to, if you don't integrate into and that's where the software is in the whole, right? If you aren't integrated to the flow and meeting the merchant where they want to be in their flow, you aren't going to be able to change that cycle because what's going to happen next week is they're going to grab the price gun and start sticker, right. And now it's not compliant again.
Yeah, you see, that's why it's so interesting because all this stuff is not really thought about on the surface level, but it goes deep. You know, we've had a lot of these type of discussions regarding shelf pricing and then even signage, right? Yeah. You want to have the right form of signage so that the consumer is not confused.
I've seen some bigger agents even come and be like, hey, I want to put ESLs, like electronic shelf labels on all the, and we have an ESL integration because we do it for like larger supermarkets and because we do some big supermarkets or bigger meat market, we have some pretty large accounts. And what they do is, you know, while we have that, because that's an investment. Because like, oh, it's a golden rule, it's a golden idea. I'm like, that's great. But then those shelving labels, go look it up. The lowest you're going to be is like in the $5 a piece range. 5,000 SKUs times $5, $25,000. And they're like, oh, I'll just sticker the shelves. And I'm like, okay. You know, and it's like, and I think like we'll see beyond this, maybe ISOs starting to do secret shopper programs internally. Like we've seen that at some ISOs.
That's interesting,
like internal secret. Because again, there are like I even actually what I've seen on some of like the APA, some like the APPs or the APP, the Associated Payment Professionals, like the underwriters. Yeah, I've seen them actually incorporate dual pricing as moderate to high risk with EDD into the credit policy, and I'm starting to see that on like a lot of newer like credit risk matrices that are coming out. Like they're like, no, we want dual pricing to be enhanced due diligence.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. You know, I don't know why I thought of this, but it kind of reminded me of something we heard about recently, which I thought was crazy. Something that's starting to happen now in the industry. Agents are going out acting as de facto secret shoppers, trying to get steal business from other agents. So they're going, catching a merchant that's not compliant, reporting it to Visa, and it's just creating a snowball effect of like incentivizing like poaching these businesses and.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem is it's something that bites, like, at the end of the day, it just goes back, just do it right, do it compliantly, right? Like, because at the end of the day...
You'll save yourself a lot of headaches.
One, you just screwed over a small business owner, which is not good. Like, again, and a lot of ISOs, a lot of agents are... Their source of sales is the community. Like, they're community people, right? Like, that's the whole concept of the agent model is Mr. Big Processor can't be the best friend with every single small business owner. You know, it's just not what they're equipped for. They can't service these small businesses at the level they need, right? Like these small business owners are working it out. Like they're just barely making it all the times, and they need that hands-on experience. And I think when an agent does that, it's like the right thing to do is maybe use it as an opportunity to walk into. I mean, like my opinion is like, hey, walk into the store and say, "Did you know you're not compliant?" Rather than try to let me penalize you and get you in trouble. It's let me make you compliant, let me help you out, and I'm going to earn your business that way. And I think that's maybe a more valid answer. Like there's a right way to do it, right? And it's like there's nothing wrong with seeing stores. The end of the day is we're all in the payments business, but we're here to service the small businesses. And I think that's super important is like how do we make the small, because like if we shift our mindset from residuals to how to make the small business owner happy, kind of follows a lot of times.
No, definitely.
And I think that's an important thing is like, how do we get these, like, use it as an opportunity to grow your portfolio, but also like, hey, let's
educate. Get these. And, I mean, like we said, if you're compliant up front, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and money down the road.
And it's going to continue to evolve. I think that's the biggest headache right now is it's still kind of shifting. But what I think we can say is 5 years ago, I think everyone had that in their head is like, this is like, it can't get worse than this or worse, right? Like this is like the end goal. I think everyone had some semblance in their head that the dual pricing 2-sticker model was going to be the end goal. maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I think it's like it kind of always was the end game, and it's just been like a time shift, and it finally kind of got there.
Right.
And it's like, okay, we're here, but it's like also at the same time, where else is it to go? I mean, dual pricing, the concept is very established. Like, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no way.
Like, there's no way to defend it legally, and I'm not sure most people know this, but like it's basically freedom of speech.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's basically part of the Constitution.
It's an expression. Yeah, you're expressing.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's something so full circle, because reason we were so big on dual pricing early on was gas stations. They were the first to do dual pricing a decade ago, and they were the first one to get the wave on from Visa. Visa is comfortable. That should be the proof there, right? Visa is comfortable and does not non-compliance gas stations that are doing two price models, as long as displaying it at the pump, displaying it at the signage.
Yep.
You're aware. But when was the last time in your portfolio have you seen a dual pricing issue come up from a gas station at the pump?
I would imagine very rarely, if at all.
Like, I've never seen it.
It's the example that everyone's actually aware of, right?
Yeah.
They don't even know it. It's just become
You don't know it,
commonplace.
but you just see it every time you go to the gas station. Yeah, and it's so prominent, right? You see it in big LED, numbers, right? Like cash, credit.
Well, Visa had what I'm saying is Visa has seen that for a decade,
Right?
Yeah, and had any issues.
And they haven't gone after it,
Yeah.
which to me implies that, like, whether they say it or not, it's the right way.
It's implied that that's compliant.
Right? Like, it's no one's in trouble for it.
Yeah. Marty, I think to close this out, I have two things that I want to, ask you. AI is becoming a huge talking point in every industry. So one question would be, how do you see AI implicating your business and payments industry as a whole? And then to close it off, let our listeners know, exactly what you do, where they can find you, what regions you service, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so we actually already implemented and launched an AI module. We use it for multiple things in our point of sale platform, where we use it for inventory. We actually can read invoices and like use AI to analyze and read inventory. We use it for even when they create products, like we can instantly a lot of these small businesses don't have a proper menu or price book. We can ingest that perfectly just using the AI to, using LLMs, right?
Yeah.
We use the same LLMs out there and we integrated them fully.
ChatGPT, right? Like Grok, Gemini, etc.
Yeah, I mean, OpenAI chat is probably the most popular, and it's works great. Like, we use it, and it is able to, in the platform, auto name, auto categorize, and we use it for things like that. I think that's a huge use case. I think, now going to the payments industry, I mean, I know VAMP was one big topic, but the other big topic was the L3, the level 3 card data stuff.
Yeah.
Like, Visa's been big on cracking down on no more filler data. Right? But like, AI could bridge that. Like, there's a business idea for somebody, right? Like, use AI to take the receipt and properly translate that to L3.
I think underwriting is also getting a ton of AI usage.
We're getting it in ours.
Yeah, because I've been hearing a lot about that. Like, AI is assisting with underwriting in a big way.
Website monitoring,
absolutely.
Fraud. I mean, everything. It's crazy how it's just really implicating every industry, including ours.
Yeah. I'm curious, Marty, you mentioned using it already. Have you guys run into any trouble, any problems with AI that come to mind?
Delusion.
Yeah. Hallucinations.
Hallucination is the proper AI term, but it gets a little delulu, right? The best way to put it is AI will think like, hey, you asked me for this, right? Here it is. And it tells you something that was not what you asked
Non-existent. It makes things up. Yeah.
It'll just or it'll just tell you something wrong, and it'll just make sense. So you have to.
It'll say it so confidently too.
It's like a professional gaslighter. It'll just gaslight you into thinking this is the right answer. And I think it's important to have the guardrails and have if you don't know what you're dealing with. I think people rely on AI as like a crutch. Like, you have to use it as a tool, and if you let it do the work for you. I'm sure you've had AI contracts come your way. And you're like,
no, let me just bring this up real quick. We had a client hit us up. He emailed me and Chris, hey guys, I drafted this agreement with AI. Just wanted to run it by you guys. We took it from a 1.5 page agreement to 11 pages because it was missing so many industry standard terms and so many things that the AI just didn't pick up on, and the drafter, our client, didn't know that he needs to pick up on. So like you said, it's good as a tool, but if you don't know if you're not already going into whatever task you're assigning it with the requisite knowledge, you're just going to rely on something that it outputs, and it'll make it sound smart, but it can really screw over your business if you're relying on it without understanding, the actual truth. So I think it's good. Like, I think it's really good for people who already have a strong knowledge base of whatever material they're working with. But if you're going in, like let's say I go in there using it to work on a physics problem. I don't know anything about physics. So if I'm just going to rely on what it tells me, it might be completely wrong. I don't know. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where you have to really have the right guardrails, the right training and knowledge. Yeah.
I remember you had mentioned that client had thought, hey guys, just give this a quick gloss. Yeah, he was like, this is, it's basically a written contract.
He said this will take like 5 minutes, turned into a multiple hour drafting a whole new agreement for them.
Yeah. No, and I think like that's a huge thing. Like people just need to learn how to use it, and it's like it's a tool. It's not the answer.
Yeah, exactly. And then what about our other point? I want the listeners to know what you can, how you can service them, where you can service them, where they can reach you.
So we're a POS full service POS company. We do everything. We have our own loyalty platform, our own POS hardware, software. We offer payments as well, but we also are very ISO friendly, and we allow you to bring your own payments. We won't touch your accounts, as the industry term is, right? Processor agnostic, and we're very we're a POS company that's really big in the C-store, liquor, smoke world, right? That's really where we really shine the best, but we do quick service and we kind of do it all, but we really, to us, the dream, we're launching pay at the pump actually next month, so we'll have a full pay at the pump point of sale as well. We actually can control pumps and take credit cards outside.
Yeah, these guys are killing the game.
So
that's great.
What part of the country are you servicing? Is it
we're all over
nationwide?
The US. Yeah, we're nationwide.
Okay.
So
are you any plans to expand beyond the US?
We did our Canada registration, so we are in Canada now. So we do
That's
US
why I brought
and Canada.
That up, because I know. I already know.
That's good.
We are US and Canada. Our POS services both fully. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So no, that was great.
It was really, really great, Monty. It was really a pleasure having you here. I actually want to ask a quick question. Just the future, 2026, as you guys are looking ahead, is there anything that's kind of in the forecast for Supersonic POS, in terms of what you guys are beginning to plan for or anything of that nature?
Pump, I would imagine.
Yeah, pay at the pump, we're launching. It's done. We have like some agentic, so we launched our own e-commerce, so we're getting to like agentic commerce and agentic AI, from like that part of the world. So kind of like
very cool.
Being able to like have your e-com, because we have a full e-commerce solution that a store can instantly go online with, and we've been working very detailed, and as we do kind of some of the FSP stuff that we've been going through, is being able to do like tobacco online and like some of those things and car brand registrations and doing it properly, but being able and like taking driver licenses, scanning it at during delivery and doing the full. So we have the whole kind of. We work with large tobacco. We do scan data today. We're a tier 4 provider, so we do basically full loyalty platforms on our app. We are integrated with big tobacco as well, so we can do that. We're looking to kind of go become a full FSP. We're doing our we've e-com product coming out. We pay at the pump. And I think what's going to be really exciting is when we start looking ahead, kind of just the future of everywhere payments is going, kind of there.
What I took from that, Jeremy, is a lot of work for us.
Absolutely. You're going to keep Leo very, very busy, I can see. Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you for listening this long to the Payments Experts Podcast, a podcast of Global Legal Law Firm. We've had the real pleasure of having Mahdi Hussain joining us from Supersonic POS. Mahdi, it was really great having you here. Really quick for the audience, where do you want them to find you? How can they find you?
Supersonicpos.com. You can also email us, even myself, at Mahdi@supersonicpos.com. But yeah.
Actually, you want to give out your cell phone number?
Social Security, please?
I'm sure someone has it.
All right, excellent. We will see you on the next one. Leo, as always, thank you very much as well. It was a wonderful podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Cool, man.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Hey, really great work, guys. That was great.
I know, probably longer.
No, that's good.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Payments Experts Podcast, a podcast of Global Legal Law Firm. Visit us online today at globallegallawfirm.com. Matters discussed are all opinions and do not constitute legal advice. All events or likeness to real people and events is a coincidence.